Peace. Peace to the God body. Peace to the divine infinite consciousness. And definitely peace to the divine seed, the child, the black child. The reason why we are here in the first place, folks. Alright. This video right here is a response to the young Pharaoh's little rant about the mental illness origins and the hater. Alright? And so I don't think he really addressed it enough, so I'm gonna come back real quick. Yeah, we all the family in the community, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a lot of turmoil with the young versus the old, and a lot of fingers being pointed about who's done what and who hasn't. All right, so you got to keep this in mind real quick. Back in the day, see, the elders, they learned by trial and error. I'm not talking about the Noble Drew Ali's or the Marcus Garveys and the NOIs, I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the ones who kind of had to learn from those teachings, like brothers like Jeff Fort, Larry Hoover, even the Bloods and the Crips, you know what I'm saying? Muzz was striving to do good, you know what I mean? But this is where the mental illness comes in at, because now you have you're dealing with a people who are easily led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. So when you got someone who's trying to do positivity and then drugs come into the daggone community, then we had to conquer that and grow from that. There was different type of mind altering chemicals. They knew that we was a chemical people. You know what I mean? Chem, meaning black, and street is study, so chemistry. You know what I'm saying? They know it's two sides to it, really. Mainly, you got the acidic and you got your alkaline side. So they knew how to get to us. You know what I mean? So yeah, you had the L. Rookins, the Black P Stones. These organizations and groups are striving to unite original people. You know what I'm saying? To a point where we had our child army, and we was able to protect our own and protect our most prized possession, which is the woman. You know what I'm saying? Because through her is how we get the seed to come into the game. All right. So yeah, the elders have learned through trial and error. So you can't say that they failed or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because now we know and we learn, because life, we keep on coming back until we master this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they know eventually that we will. So that's how they lock up a lot of political prisoners, a lot of political people who were striving to help once again. You know what I'm saying? So they learned that the hard way for us. So we had to learn which berries were poison and which were not. We had to go through that process. All right? So you got to look at it. Imagine if we had YouTube in the 80s. You know what I mean? Now, coming up in the 80s with a crack era, these little drugs they got over the counter, this ain't shit compared to what the hell we came up. Y'all don't even understand. Real zombies. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, was walking the streets all night long. You know what I mean? So it was hard. That was an epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Mostly everybody's parents was on that shit. And so it left the children, who are the elders now, to grow up in that age. So we was the first to be able to see what was wrong and start to correct it. My generation, for sure. This is when hip hop hit the game, hit the streets. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't created over in New York, it was in there, all the original people, original boys, young children's hearts anyways. You know what I'm saying? That's the culture that we made out of this, and it came out of the nation of gods and earths. So pay homage to that. See, these are the tools. We have the tools to get you right and exact. Once you clean yourself up, then you'll start linking with people who are already clean, and we'll know who don't mean good and who won't mean, and who means well for us. You know what I'm saying? You will know this. You'll know this. This is why you have to eat right and exact and fast. You have to. You know what I'm saying? It's like you fast from a lot of things in order for you to come back. You fast from talking. You have to fast from talking. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be walking around just talking. You're going to notice these things. So mental illness is very, very real. And we're talking about specifically a cluster B personality disorder. I'm not talking about the cluster A right now. So that's different. If we're talking about the cluster A, then we're talking about schizophrenia and things of that nature. And if we're talking about that, then you're going to definitely have to change your eating habits, because schizophrenia basically is rooted in undigested proteins in the body or in the brain. So, and where them proteins come from, we know where they come from animals. They ain't coming from the plants. So I'm just letting you know. All right. So the elders have tried. Now we at a new stage where we got another chance to try to strive again. So while we're cleaning the house out and we're like, we're seeing what's right and exact and right. In the meantime, you better train. You know what I'm saying? Train and start eating right and exact. It should take you about a year all together. You know what I mean? If you gotta grow your hair out, grow your hair out, grow your ethers out. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're in the cyber time, we're in the cyberspace, so you can build with your ALItes through there. If you can't find none that's right next to you, living. So yeah, I'm gonna come out with a mental illness part 2 real quick to touch up on the codependencies and interdependency people who is in the world, into how you can see sometimes a lot of people who are narcissists, they are codependent. You know what I'm saying? They really are, because they need something outside of themselves, the external approval, instead of mastering that on the inside. And this is why Kung Fu was always smooth. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a study of life around you and inside yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mastering your own being. A lot of us have watched all those Chinese movies. You know the good and bad characters. You know who was faulty, who was shaky. So it's the same thing in this. So yeah, there's some haters out there. You know what I'm saying? But that's dealing with the cluster B once again. When you're dealing with narcissism or histrionic, any of those borderline personalities, codependencies, they all lack a self-worth on the inside. But then you got your grandin type of narcissists who really just love, they don't lack this on the inside. They just love all that extra attention on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So they just lack a personality within, but they don't lack necessarily, they don't have they're not feeling sad, depressed all the time. Kind of like a borderline. A borderline is pretty much sad and they feel worthless, and those are the ones who fall through with killing themselves, because they don't feel like they're appreciative. And a lot of those, they pair up good with the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Because they both have good toxic relationships with each other. But the narcissist will be a lot more hurting than the borderline when she leaves them. So they go through the idolize, the devalue, and discard stages, just like all. And the same thing with the conscious communities and shit. Now you seeing, we all weaving everybody out. So yeah, the elders did try. They strived. You know what I'm saying? It's still here. Nation of Gods and Earth still here. I'm not even from New York. And I got mapped from an individual by enlightener. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you who was connected to. You know what I mean? So it all goes back. This is worldwide now. That's why you don't see a lot of guys talking, because we let all your little funny pseudoscience heads, bump heads and do what it do. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to clean this shit up. And the A-Lights is coming out. And this is what it is. So knowledge is always going to be first and foremost. The foundation of wisdom is the way to the understanding, which is the best part. And to live your life, your culture, which is to be free. And to use your power to refine. See? And that's dealing in equality. And equality is being at one with oneself. That shows and proves that you God. God is who? The motivated, sustaining, controller, and Lord of all worlds, which is you. Then you build and destroy off of the knowledge that you have, the understanding that you have gained. Alright? And then you destroy anything that's weak and wicked, so you can continue bettering yourself. This is what nature does, baby. And then you born yourself all over again. You're born in what? Your culture. This is show improving the cipher. The cipher is a perfect circle. Person, place, thing. Man, woman, child. Alright? That's God. Okay, so we know that understanding completes the cipher. Peace. I love you. Subscribe. Eat right and exact. And I'm going to put them jewels out there on you. So, yeah, this is one of the elders that can show and prove, you know what I'm saying, physically. Alright? So, I love you. I love you. Better get them sit ups and pull ups on, y'all. All right, now. All right.